Here, the starting lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies against Doc Ellis, who has a record of 7-9 lifetime against them, 0-2 this year. Dave Cash will lead it off. He'll be at second base. Larry Bowe will bat second and play at short. The third baseman, Mike Smith, will be batting third and playing at third base. Willie Montanez in the cleanup spot at first base. Greg Luzinski in left field will bat fifth. Hitting sixth, Jay Johnstone will be in right field. Dale Unser will play in center field. He'll be batting seventh. The catcher, Bob Boone, will bat eighth, and the pitcher, Steve Carlson, will start at his record 14 wins and 11 defeats. The last time he pitched, he lost the Cubs in a good ball game, by the score of 3-0. He was beaten, as I mentioned, by the Pirates on Labor Day in that first game of the doubleheader, 7-4. And the Pirates against them this year are 2-2, a lifetime mark. Crofton won up with a record of 16 wins and 15 defeats in those years with St. Louis and the Philadelphia Phillies. Pirates will lead it off with Rennie Stennett on a 9-game hitting streak. He'll be at second base. Manny Sagian will do the catching and bat second. Al Oliver in center field will hit third. In the cleanup spot in left field, Willie Stargell. Richie Zisk will bat fifth and play in right field. The redhead, Bobby Robertson, goes to first base tonight against the left-hander Crofton. Replacing Ed Kirkpatrick, he'll bat sixth. Art Howe will go at third base tonight, replacing Hefner against Crofton. Howe third will be batting seventh. The shortstop, rookie Frank Tavares, will bat eighth. And the pitcher will be Doc Ellis. His record 12 wins and 9 defeats. Not a bad crowd on hand for this midweek ball game. It's time now for our national anthem. Birthplace of democracy in our government, right here in Philadelphia. They do it up big when they play the national anthem here with the fireworks and everything. Always a good place to visit if you're looking for some historical significance. A good walk down around Convention Hall. I guess in another year or so, this place really will be jumping. The summer of 1976. The summer of 74 has been a pleasant one so far in the second half for the Pirates, who lead the St. Louis Cardinals by 3.5 games, and quite a turnaround for the Bucs, who since the July 14th ball game against the Cincinnati Reds, they have won 40 of 55 ball games, and most recently have won 15 of their last 18. Report on Dave Justy is that he is in Pittsburgh. He has seen the doctor there, and his back injury is serious enough to make him miss a couple of days of activity, and he will not rush things. Fortunately, the Pirates have the added advantage of that 3.5 game loss, but Dave hopeful that things will be okay and it won't be as severe as the back injury that sidelined him in 1969. That he's seeing doctors, taking treatment. He will join the ball club tomorrow, flying in tomorrow afternoon. He will continue to take treatment here and possibly do some running and throwing as soon as he thinks he can, but that decision, of course, up to him. Pirates, yesterday, used Bruce Keeson to wind up the ball game, and apparently it will be Keeson who will get that job of pitching short relief. But the veteran Dave Justy sorely missed, and hopefully he'll be back in shape and ready to go very soon. Rennie Stennett will lead it off against Steve Carlson. He'll be followed by Manny Sankey and then Al Oliver. Rennie on a 9-game hitting streak, batting at .287, has 7 home runs. He's driven in 53. Schmidt, Boa, Cash, and Montanese in the infield. Luzinski, Hunter, and Johnstone in the outfield. The battery, Crofton and Bob Boone. And here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's a fastball down low, ball one. Crofton had a 3-0 lead in the first inning of the opening game of that Labor Day doubleheader, but he ran into control problems, walked in a run, and the Bucks came on to win that one. He's in there with a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. But this fella can be a dominant pitcher when he is right, as his lifetime mark of 131 wins and 103 defeats will tell you. Here's the 1-1 pitch by Crofton. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and he just blew a fastball right past Rennie Stennett. Rennie has hit safely in 20 of his last 21 games, and this fastball right there, strike 3. Mr. Crowden is pumping. John Kibler behind the plate. At first base, it looks like Terry Tata. At second base, Dutch Reynolds, and at third base, Shag Coffey. St. Ian hitting at 286, 6 home runs, he's driven in 59. The pitch by Steve, swung on and missed, strike 1. Fastball out of the strike zone, and St. Ian chased. Crofton in that ball game in Pittsburgh was blowing hard in that first inning. But as we said, control went haywire on him. He's had some control problems in 2 of his last 3 starts. But he pitched a good ball game against the Cubs the last time out, losing 3-0 to Bill Bonham. The 0-1 pitch by Steve is inside to the curveball, ball 1. He has beaten the Pirates twice, and we have beaten him twice. And it's just inside, a breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike. Phillies got things together after dropping 3 in a row to the Pirates over the Labor Day series. They went into Chicago, won 3 of 4, and swept the St. Louis Cardinals the last 2. The 2-1 pitch, foul, back out of play, and a count of 2 balls and a strike. There's not much doubt that the Phillies cannot get by with splits anymore. They're at the position where they have to start sweeping people, and they're going with this big guy and also Wayne Twitchell tomorrow. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive, left field, base hit. In front of Luzinski. Kind of a looping line drive that St. Ian fought off over the top of the letters. Just a bit inside. You got a base hit on it. Oliver hitting at 318, 8 home runs, 70 RBI, steps in, and it's a high pop-up behind home plate. Drifting out of play, I believe. Boone back, but he might make a play. Into the 3rd or 4th row behind the screen. Strike 1 on Scoop. Al had a bit of a dry spell in that Chicago series in the first game, going hitless, and then went hitless his first 2 times up yesterday, but came back with 3 hits. Montanez holding against St. Ian. And this fastball just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. You got to stay with that pitch by Crofton. Fastball runs in on left-handed batters. Almost backed up and caught the outside corner. Boone again moving out. And the pitch. It is low and outside with the slider. 2 balls and a strike. Crofton's the type of physical specimen you would like to see pitchers be. He is big and strong. Has good coordination and knows what he's doing out there. Fastball just away, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. He is 6'5", 215 to 220 pounds. The pitch, and he's bounced to second base, double play ball. Cash to Boa to first, double play. The inning, no runs on a hit, no errors, and we go to the bottom of the 1st. No score.
Well, we're moving right down to the end of another great year of baseball. And about this time, a lot of us start thinking about the playoffs and the series. And I'm sure you'll be glued to the TV and radio no matter what team makes it. You know, one thing you got to have with you is Iron City beer. It's a great beer. Just pop open a big cold bottle of iron and see for yourself. Only the very best ingredients can give a beer that golden color. And only the finest brewing can create a creamy head like that. And a freshly poured glass of iron, well, that's a picture of perfection that every real beer drinker understands. Now, go ahead. Take a sip. A beer that good-looking was meant for tasting. A hearty and tangy flavor, robust and rich as can be. Believe you me, it's pure beer drinking satisfaction. Yes, sir, that's a great beer. Iron City beer. Now you make sure you've always got a case of Iron City on hand. Because when you're really ready to pour it on, you can pour on the iron.
Okay, into the bottom of the first and no score. Thank you, Nellie, for holding fort. We had a nice visit with His Honor the Mayor, Pete Flaherty, as you'd view, and he's in the Philadelphia area here, and of course out rooting for the Buccos, and I guess maybe for the Phillies. Senator Schweiker and Flaherty are now in a position where they got to root for both ball clubs in this state. I wouldn't think they could do otherwise.
They better be impartial if they want to win.
I'd have to believe that's what you got to do. Denise LaRussa and Christine Belchick are here. They're attending Temple University. Emily Mulholland, my former gal Friday in baseball, is here tonight. Nellie, don't know whether she had a chance to see you, but wanted to be remembered to you and all her friends in the Pittsburgh area. She's with Temple University Hospital. And looking great. She's been a great, great Pirate fan, as you well know, down through the years. Young lady that took over so capably once Emily decided to go with Temple University, of course, is Sally O'Leary. All right, here's Dave Cash, batting at 307, 2 homers and 54 runs batted in. He's on a 7-game batting streak. Doc Ellis delivers, he throws a strike. Billy DeMar is coaching third. Over to first is Bobby Wine. They're going to play Cash to pull the ball. Ellis flips him out of there. Fastball fouled outside. 330 down the line. 371 right center, left center. 408 straight away. Arthur Howe, Frank Tavares, Rennie Stennett, and Bobby Roberts in the Pirate infield. Stockdale, Oliver, and Zisk the outfield. Behind the plate, El Hombre Diana. Cash goes down swinging on a swifty from Doc Ellis.
I think Cash is used to seeing Ellis pitch, and on a pitch like that, he's generally gone away with a breaking ball, but he really unloaded a good, hard fastball that ran in us.
Now, shortstop Larry Boa, batting at 271. 1 homer and 28 runs batted in. Well, our prediction of yesterday, Nellie, came true that we would want Mr. Russell and that the Cardinals would get popped by the Phillies. And the Phillies, by the way, play the Cardinals tough, and they have 3 more left with them. But in the meantime, while they're playing them, we've got our hands full with the New York Mets, who are going to be something else, too. And Montreal, 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Down low, ball 2. We'll be playing the Cardinals Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the Mets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then we go right out of town to St. Louis and right back for 4 big ones with the Cardinals. So I'll tell you, those 2 weeks coming up are tough. 2 balls and a strike. But the Phillies do give the Cardinals fits. And in the meantime, the Phillies, as Nellie told you, are down to where they can't horse around now and play 500 ball. They got to start racking them up in 2 out of 3. There's a jamming pitch up to the right side. Stennett beautifully short hops and throws him out. That Stennett has remarkable hands.
It was a difficult play going away. Slowly hit, funny spin on the ball. Still came up and get a very fast runner. Boa, a lot different batter from that left side. You don't have time at all to mess around with the ball and hit it.
Well, there's a hot one. Mike Smith batting at 302. 35 homers, 110 runs batted in. And he scored 102 runs. So those are 3 departments in which he leads. And if he's not a candidate for MVP, I don't know who the dickens is. Now the pitch to him, and it's in there for a strike. I guess his competition will come from Mike Marshall, and I can't think of anybody else, and I never think a pitcher ought to be in that competition. He ought to be a Cy Younger, period, and the guys that play every day ought to have the MVP shot. He is jamming, and up comes Arthur Howe, slams it over. Bobby Robertson tags Schmidt as the throw pulled him off the bag as Arthur, hard-nosed that he is, took a skidding hop off the infield there when it hit into the sliding pit area, and he had to gun it. He had something on him, but Bobby grabbed it and tagged Schmidt from the side, retired. And the 1, no score.
I'd have to say one of the best places to listen to a ball game is right at your neighborhood tavern. Now, that's the place where you can enjoy all those friendly arguments over every tight play and let the man behind the bar be the umpire. And while you're taking in all this action, you can take in all the Iron City beer you want. But just remember that all this enjoyment doesn't have to end when the game is over and you get home. Now, if you take home a 6-pack or 2 of Iron City cans, and that way you can sit back in your favorite chair, snap open a can, and grab hold of a real beer taste. A taste that has a way of shutting out a thirst in no time flat. And that's because Iron City beer is the one with that real, honest-to-goodness beer taste. And I'll tell you something else. It's a taste you want to fill your refrigerator with. So you'll always be set when friends drop in or a thirst arrives. And no matter who wins the game, once you break into that Iron City beer, my friend, you'll have yourself a winner. Iron City beer. Pour on the iron.
Here's Willie Stargell, the Willie the Stars, batting at 3-1-3. 23 homers, 83 runs batted in. Steve Carlson on the mound, brings it in. Willie swings, and oh, what a rip he took on that fastball. Just fouled it back. Strike 1. A couple of our athletes are working around with a heavy chest cold, but they're playing nonetheless. Here's the 0-1. Low and outside. Ellis is beginning to clear up a little bit. Stanky Kirkpatrick's got a heavy one. Richie Zisk is just getting over it, and Richie Hebner hasn't. But they're playing when has to. Curveball hit high, foul, left side, and out of play. I'll tell you, there's no doubt about it. Our athletes were tired from last night. That was a big game in Chicago, but sitting around an airport for several hours before you can even get on the plane and sitting on it for another hour before you can get here is some kind of rugged inside a ball, especially when these guys have gone since 8 o'clock in the morning without anything to eat. That was a tough one, getting in real late in the morning hours. 2-2 curveball wrapped out into right center by Stargell for a base hit. Hunter goes over and cuts it off. Oh, what a hot bat Willie the Starger got going. That'll bring up right fielder Richie Zisk at 322, 16 homers, 93 runs batted in. The Yankees are playing Baltimore, a doubleheader, and in the first game, May and Grimsley going at it. And at the end of 7 1/2 innings of play, the Yankees lead Baltimore.
Tied 2-2. It's tied 2-2.
Oh, so it's now tied up at 2-2 into the bottom of the 8th at Baltimore. This takes a fastball from Carlson to the outside. Well, that's a big one for Baltimore. More so for Baltimore than the Yankees. For the Yankees lead by a pair. No balls and a strike to pitch. Inside. Let's see what else is going. Where are the Bo Sox? They're in Cleveland. They're going with Drago, and they're getting Gaylord Perry. That ain't any snap either. 1-1. Outside to this ball, 2 balls and a strike. I suppose that now that everybody's back at school, I should say that is not a snap rather than eat. 2 balls and a strike to Richie Zisk. Stargell the runner at first. Carlson's high, ball 3. They're deep in the outfield, swung to the left. Right fielder Johnstone giving about 90 feet of the line to Richie. That's kind of an unusual outfield offense, although maybe with left-hand pitching, that's why they're doing. Normally they don't give him that much right field line. He pops to the shallow right side. Cash is dropping back. Johnstone is coming up. Cash getting under. 1 out. No score. Bobby Robertson at first base at 239, 13 homers, 41 runs batted in. We're in the top half of the second inning, 1 out and 1. Board shows the Pirates in with only 1 hit, but I'm afraid they're going to have to say 2. Sanguin singled in the first, and Stargell led off this inning with a base hit. Robertson takes the Carlton fastball, Bill high, ball one. Isn't this a delightful time of the year? So many things to be decided in the world of baseball. National League East and West. American League East, not in the West. Foul ball. I would say Oakland's got it wrapped. Not mathematically wrapped, but it might as well be. Last when Nellie and I left Chicago, I think Texas was in second place. Are they still there now? Yeah, they're in second. 6.5 back. That's a team you keep your eye on. 1-on-1. Robertson hits a high fly, deep left field. Lazinski going back. Hits it. Goodbye, baby. Took him out of the park on that Labor Day doubleheader. It looked to me, Nellie, too, like Carlton gave him something, a breaking ball change, and Robbie laid on it.
Well, it gets to the slider. I think he probably was trying to run something in, but he hung it out there. Almost the same type of pitch he hit in Pittsburgh. It's amazing the mileage that Murtaugh's gotten out of Robertson and Kirkpatrick.
Carlton just fired number 19 out of the ballpark. Here's Arthur Howe, and he hits a fly ball out into right field. Running for it is Johnstone. And 2 are down as the Pirates lead 2-0 on a big homer to left field by Bobby Robertson, his 14th home run of the year. Percentage-wise, times at bat and home runs, unbelievable, Bobby Robertson.
Had 49 hits and 14 of them in home runs.
That's a good average. That's way up there. A ball. I'm not going to try to figure out what kind of an average it is because you then find out mathematically non-compass menace is the old gun. Swing and a miss by Tavares, 1-1. I wouldn't even know if that's a fifth or a third or 11. I guess 14 into 50. Yeah, about a third. Close to a third. 1-1 to Frankie Tavares. Carlton kicks him down. He swings foul back. Ball 1 and strike 2. There's a chopper up to the shortstop. Boy comes up for the hop and he throws him out. Get a pair on a single by Stargell and a boomer by Bobby Robertson. Go to the bottom of the second, lead the Phillies 2-0.
Hey, fans, here's an interesting question. How do you discover a great tavern? Well, first, you just try using your ears. When you hear lots of laughter, some good baseball talk, and the clink of big mugs, you just might be in the right place. Now take a look around. You should see some real neighborly people enjoying themselves. And then check over by the bar. Do you see a red and white tap handle? That's an Iron City draft beer tap. And if you see it, well, you know for certain you're in the right place. Because you'll always find Iron City beer where sports-minded guys gather. And there's a real good reason for that. Iron City beer packs all the excitement and refreshment you could ever want in a beer. It's got a rich, robust, real beer flavor that stands out. And, brother, it's got the taste that's going to satisfy the biggest thirst you can work up. Looking for a great tavern? Look for Iron City on draft. And when you're heading home, get that 10th inning kit, a couple of cold 6-packs of Iron City beer. Hey, man, when you're really ready to pour on the iron.
General Manager Joel Brown will be here tomorrow with David Justy. Justy will be coming on, getting a very good report on his back situation. General Manager Brown being honored tonight, among others, at the Allegheny County Sportsman's Affair at Webster Hall. Then another big bash coming up at the William Penn Hotel shortly, and it'll be for Arthur J. Rooney. I rather imagine the GM might have a small transistor plugged in somewhere, because you're at that time of the year when you just want to know right on the nose what's going on. Well, the Bucks are on top 2-0 on a homer by Bobby Robertson. Here's Willie Montañez, batted in the number 4 spot. He has a 6-game streak. batting at 309. Doc Ellis, 12-9 on the year. Has won 9 of the last 10 since the 10th of July. Pitches outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. They're playing Montañez fairly straight out. Dodge will split off a little bit to his right and deeper in left field where his power is. Doc sends it in, smacked up the middle, base hit by Montañez. That's the 7th game now in which he's hit safely. He owns the longest batting streak in the National League. He surpassed Hal Oliver by 1. Now the left fielder, Greg Luzinski, is 271. 6 homers, 37 runs batted in. And that is the first hit of the ball game off Doc Ellis. There is by no means a sellout crowd here tonight, but it's a good crowd, and the Phillies picked a draw around $1.8 million. If they were to sweep us, heaven forbid, and go on and win a few more, they could top the 2 million mark here. The season is over. Luzinski takes it up inside a ball. Bucks lead 2-0 in the second inning. Look back to 1-0. Inside ball 2. Montreal 4. Chicago nothing in the first of a doubleheader at the end of 4 innings. Jorgensen is homered. Now it's at the end of 7 innings. And it's 4-6 to 1. They just corrected. Montreal leading. They knocked Bonham out of there. Oh, Mr. Marshall has made now about 159 or 60 pitching changes since he took over. 2 balls, no strikes. Luzinski watching a slider high, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Runner at first is Montañez. Robertson holding there. Pitch to Luzinski. Outside, he lost it. So the Phillies will have a pair on to Jay Johnstone, who can take you out of the park in a hurry. And while we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Pirate Baseball Network.
Officer Sports Alert, Pirate, KDBE, Pittsburgh.
Jay Johnstone, the right fielder, batting at 320, 6 homers, 24 runs batted in. Phillies 2 on the mat. Arthur Howe comes up tight at third. And a strike on the inside corner, ripping in there quickly. Pirates leading 2-0. Home run, Bobby Robertson off Steve Carlton, the 19th that Carlton has served up this year. Dallas checks second, comes in. Johnstone, fly ball, deep center, going back. Oliver running hard, slicing away from him. It'll bounce up there. They'll get 1 run. That's all. Luzinski can't score. Double Johnstone. Good. Then when he went back, from our view, you could see the ball slicing away from him. There was no way he was going to catch it. And thus, Montañez scored. Luzinski, with his ponderous physique, was unable to go any farther than third base. He should have scored on the ball if he had any kind of speed. And in the event, if that had been the case, Johnstone would have had a triple. Now the batter, Del Unser, batting at 269. So the Phillies have runners at second and third. And they're going to walk Unser. Nobody out. So they're in the process of putting him on. Batting, Del Unser being walked to get to catcher Bob Boone. Batting at 249, 3 homers, 48 runs batted in. See how we're going to play here. We're leading 2-1 now, but in a heck of trouble in the Philadelphia second inning. Wayne Twitchell tomorrow night, and Jerry Roy. We're in a series where the Phillies must win them both to gain any type of ground. So that's their problem. Now Boone, the batter. The infield is back in double play depth on the left side, up at first and second. Robertson looking into the bench, and they said if he gets the ball, come home with it. Or he wanted to know. Ellis high, ball one. And they're stirring around now in the Pirate bullpen. And Maka getting up, and looks like Moreland. Maka will be doing the catching. 1 ball, no strikes. Ellis getting the sign from Sanguin. Here's the pitch. Foul back on a good hard slider. Robertson, in looking in, wanted to know whether if he got a shot, should he come home with it. Now he's playing a deep first. So we may see if we get that ball, we'll try for the double play, give him a run, and go from there. 1-1. Swing and a miss. The bat flies out of the hands of Boone over by the Pirate dugout. A ball and 2 strikes. Off our dugout, and one of the youngsters picked it up and handed it down on the field. The fans started to boo. That shows you they don't know any better, because every time that happens, what they're going to do is get their game bat back and go back and give the youngster or whomever gets the bat. Why is it everybody just wants to boo? 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch to Boone. He's jammed and he fouls it into our dugout. A ball and 2 strikes. Pirates scored 2 runs on a booming homer by Bobby Robertson with start to the 4th. Then Montagnier led off the Philadelphia second with a base hit, the 7th game in which he's hit safely. Luzinski drew a walk. Johnstone doubled in Montagnier's. Bouncer hit foul to third, and Unser then was given the intentional walk. I heard something popping up above. It sounded like a sonic boom. Or was it thunder?
Well, they got a football game over here at the JFK Stadium, and I think the World Football League may have scored a set for Silverton. Is that what it is?
Jacksonville Sharks are in town. They're staying at our hotel. A ball and 2 strikes. Now the rock and the 1-2 to Boone. Upside 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases remain loaded. 2-1 Philadelphia. Bottom of the second, nobody out. 2-2 to Boone. Struck him out swinging. The bat goes out again, and all this time goes down, almost sticks off his own runner, Luzinski. Nellie, when you swing and miss a pitch like that and lose a bat, there's something you weren't looking for. You just got fooled, I suppose.
Well, he was. He got a pretty good breaking ball, and Duck fed him a couple of good fastballs inside, and I think he just figured he was going to get something out over the plate, I guess. He was just way out in front of the thing.
Well, now here's Carlson batting at 2-0. He's no easy out. Infield back. Now the Bucks need J. Edgar on to Herbert, on to the dam. Straight away in the outfield, not too deep. Pitch by Doc Ellis. Foul back, and Carlson took a doggone good rip.
This guy can swing a bat. He is no out of it at all, I'll tell you.
Bucks lead 2-1 here. Bases remain loaded with 1 out now. Doc got what he had to get there, the strikeout. Carlson lines it to Howe, steps on third, double play. We get a great break. Oh, what a break we get there. Line drive by Carlson right at Arthur Howe, who immediately, boom, ran right to third to double up Luzinski and to retire the side. I got to tell you, we were just plain lucky there. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. End of 2, 2-1 Pittsburgh.
You know, the old gunner here has been doing the Pirate play-by-play for Iron City now for 18 years. Great years. Just filled with exciting moments, great players, and a lot of fine, fine fans. You know, something I've learned over the years is that baseball fans know their beer, and they like it. That's why they've helped make Iron City beer the #1 beer around here year after year. Of course, it's tough to put your finger on any one reason. But maybe it's because Iron City is made with more ingredients. And all those ingredients are the very best a good beer ought to have. So when you start into a tall, frosty glass of Iron City beer, you know it's an Iron City. Because you can't miss that rich, full flavor, that lively tang, that beautiful creamy head, that real honest-to-goodness beer taste. You take it from the gunner. If you want to sink your thirst into the best beer around here, you've got to get the #1 beer, Iron City. Yes, my friends, pour on the iron.
Now the crowd settling down a bit after that thrilling inning for the Phillies in the second inning, and Ellis, who's Bob Describe, rather fortunate to get out of that on the line drive off the bat of Crawford for a double play. Doc will lead it off in the third. He's batting at 222. The pitch underway by Crawford is a fastball down low, ball 1. Stennett on deck, and Manny Sankian will follow. Pirates lead 2-1. Fastball down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Both Crawford and Ellis appear to be throwing the ball very well. They have good fastballs, but maybe overthrown it a bit, not moving around as much as they'd like. That happens sometimes. Fastball in there taken by Ellis. 2 balls and a strike. Jim Rooker had that same problem out in Los Angeles. Overthrowing the ball early, had some problems, settled down, and pitched a great ball game. Ground ball to the right side. Dave Cash is a high hopping ball. He gets Doc at first, 1 down. Velocity is a great thing to have, but pitchers really would enjoy having a pitch that moves along with the velocity. If you can put both of those together, you have a big night. But just straight heat isn't going to get you through 9 innings. Stennett struck out in the first inning. He was called out on strikes. John Kibler behind the plate. The Pirates lead 2-1 here in the 6th. Line drive. It's a foul ball down the line and just foul. A good call by crew chief Shag Crawford. He's looking right down the line and gave an emphatic call of foul. That ball wasn't foul by much more than just a matter of a couple of inches. Stennett on a 9-game hitting streak and has hit safely in 20 of his last 21 ball games. His 3 hits his first 3 times up yesterday. Has scored 72 runs. Crawford's 0-1 delivery outside with the fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Pittsburgh people in here for this ball game over at the Hilton Hotel earlier today. Adjacent to the ballpark, the 1-1 pitch. Fastball moved away, 2 balls and a strike. And some good friends of Kenny Maka made the trip out to Chicago, driving all night to see him. Dave Stakowicz from Ambridge, Bruce Metz from Fox Chapel, and Bill Chow from Monroeville. CIAO. I know I pronounced that wrong, but can you say Chow, I guess? Anyway, they took time to come out to see Kenny Maka. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Stennett. Foul tipping the last pitch, and the windup in the pitch underway. Fouled again down the right field line. It's out of play. Stennett got the big hit that gave the Bucks the lead in that Labor Day ball game against Crawford when he lined a single down the right field line to give the Bucks the lead 4-3. He went on to win it 7-4. And that turned out to be a big ball game this season. The pitch, it is up high, ball 3. Full count on Stennett. Mentioned Crawford's problem the last couple of starts has been his wildness. Hasn't walked anybody so far, but he's gone full on Rennie Stennett. Here's a payoff pitch, and it's jammed the pitch right back up the middle, picked off by Boa near the bag, throws, he just got him a hit. Ball just came in on the fist of Stennett, a high hopping ball over the mound that Boa had time to get to, and his quick throw nailed Stennett by a step at first base. 2 down, nobody on. The Pirates out in front 2-1 on Bobby Robertson's 14th home run of the year with Stargell on base in the second inning. Sankian, who singled in the first inning as a batter, takes the strike. And he had 3 hits yesterday. Batting now at .287. The 0-1 delivery, curveball, Chapman. the shortstop. Boa to his left again. Easy play. He's got him at first. And the Pirates go down in order in the third inning. We'll go to the bottom of the third. The Pirates lead 2-1.
You know, it's usually not a good idea to do things halfway, but every rule has its exception. And the folks at Iron City have come up with the exception to that one, the half a case. 12 12-ounce cans of rich, rewarding Iron City beer. And it comes in one convenient package. It makes buying Iron City beer just a little bit easier, because you can pick up a half a case of Iron City cans at your favorite tavern. So the next time you're in there enjoying the company, the friendship, and a couple of cold drafts of Iron City beer, remember to ask for a half a case before you head for home. Well, that way you'll be darn sure you have enough Iron City beer on hand in case friends drop by. Or even to sit back in your favorite chair to spoil yourself a little with the most beer pleasure you can get from a 12-ounce can. From the moment you crack open the can and watch that sparkling golden richness tumble into your favorite glass, you know you're in for a special treat. So treat yourself to half a case of Iron City beer. When you're really ready to pour on the iron.
An overflow of scouts down below following the Pirates and the Phillies in this big series, and one of them, a guy named Harry Hawkins, who's the batting coach for the St. Louis Cardinals. It's the ball club that trails the Pirates by 3.5. They're playing tonight in Shea Stadium. No score in that ball game, about ready to get underway. The Cardinals will be in Pittsburgh for what is to be the big series of 1974. There are still plenty of good seats available for that one. And if you want to see some very interesting baseball with the speed of Lou Brock and a pretty exciting ball club the Cardinals have had this year, they've dominated the Bucs into the first half of the season. We just couldn't beat them at all. The second half, a different story, and we'll be meeting them in 3 very big ball games that could decide the 1974 Eastern Division Championship. Hope you'll be on hand like you were for the Philadelphia Phillies series. And that crowd we had Labor Day was, I think, instrumental in the Bucs' success that year. Even when this club was down by the score of 3-0, the fans just started chanting, and the Bucs got right back into it very quickly and went on to sweep them. They'll be in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week, with Tuesday, the 17th, being ladies' night. Here's the pitch to Dave Cash to open up the third inning. It's a strike. Taken by Cash. Ellis struck him out in the first inning. Cash, having his finest year, hitting at 307, has 184 hits. The 0-1 pitch. Line drive, right field. Back is this, going. He turns, he's got it. Pretty well hit ball by Cash to the opposite field, but this going back well on the ball, turned and got the slicing ball to the out. One down, Larry Boa, who bounced to second baseman Stennett in the first inning, and a bang-bang play is the batter. Larry having his best year, hitting at 271. And these 3 guys, Cash, Boa, and Schmidt, have been a very potent force offensively for this ball club. It's about it. Swing, he tried to bunt and chopped it by, but missed strike 1. Boa tried to push the ball between Ellis and Art Howe, the third baseman. It's got no contact. Cash has scored 81 runs, Boa scored 88, and Schmidt has scored 102, the first 3 batters for the Phillies. Curveball bounced quickly to first base. Robertson takes it unassisted. 2 down. If you can keep those 3 fellows off the base, you stand a very good chance of beating the Philadelphia Phillies in 1974. But that has happened very rarely. I think one game we did beat them here on a Sunday afternoon, the last time in, after losing the Saturday night doubleheader. It was the only time this year, I believe, that the Phillies' top 3, Cash, Boa, and Schmidt, were not on base at least once. And the big guy's in with a tying run at the plate, and he has hit 35 home runs, leads the National League. Mike Schmidt rounds to shortstop. Tamaris on 2 hops, an easy play, and Ellis gets out of the third, as did Crofton. 1, 2, 3. So it's completed 3, and the Pirates hold on to that narrow 2-1 lead. Pirate Baseball has been brought to you by Iron City Beer. When you're really ready to pour on the iron. Here's the final score in the doubleheader at Montreal. In the first game, the Expos won it 6-1. Renko, the victor, his record 10-14. Bonham lost it 11-19, his record. Oliver foul tips the first pitch to open the 4th inning against Crofton. Strike 1. Very fast game, an hour and 58 minutes. Kenny Or Mike Jorgensen hit a couple of home runs for Montreal to count for 4. There's 6 runs. Fastball up high on Oliver. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rick Mundy with a home run in the 6th inning accounted for the Cubs' only run. 6-1, Montreal over Chicago. That's the first of 2. Curveball up high by Carlton. 2 balls and a strike. Carlton got Oliver to bounce into a double play in the first inning to put the Bucks down 1-2-3. Al hitting at 317. Curveball is outside. Ball 3. The 3-1 delivery, and it is foul. Back out of play. A fastball up around the letters on Al. Count full, 3-2. Lead-off batter for the Pirates in the 4th inning. The Pirates get on the board first in the 2nd inning with a single by Stargell. Just popped his 2nd, and then Robertson hit his 14th home run of the year. Phillies got right back with a run in the bottom of the 2nd. Oliver swung and missed a very bad pitch, low and outside. Takes the breaking ball. It was way in the dirt. A little bit over anxious on that one. Goes down swinging. That's the 2nd strikeout by Steve Carlton. I must confess that he hasn't had much success with Carlton. Last time out in Pittsburgh, did not do too well. That's understandable for a left-hander. Stargell, first ball hitting, chops right to Dave Cash. An easy play, and he's got Stargell at first, 2 down. Looks like both pitchers, Carlton and Ellis, have gotten back into the groove that they'd like to get into, not seemingly overthrowing the ball as much. I'd say this is a big game for both ball clubs, more so possibly for the Phillies. And the adrenaline flows a little bit heavier. Curveball down low, 1 ball and no strike. Takes you a while to get your body and your mind back to where you want them to be. The 1-0 pitch to Zisk, and it's swung on and missed, strike 1. Ritchie batting at 322, trailing Ralph Garr, and now Steve Garvey. In the National League batting race, Garvey's moved into number 2. The 1-1 pitch. It is inside, 2 balls and a strike. But this fellow's had a whale of a sophomore season. Didn't have to worry about the sophomore jinx. It was non-existent. The 2-1 pitch. It is down low, ball 3. This talking about Carlton's performance Labor Day in the 1st inning when he was throwing the ball well, but Wild just said, I was simply overpowered. If he'd have thrown the ball over the plate, no way I was going to handle him. And he missed this side and missed him outside with a fastball, and he issues his first walk. Walk number 1 for Steve Carlton brings up the redhead Bobby Robertson, his home run in the 2nd inning. Has produced both Pirates runs. The Bucks out in front 2-1. That home run by Robertson, by the way, the 100th of the season by the Pirates. The pitch to the redhead is a fastball away, ball 1. Phillies are in with an 88 home run, of which 35 have been hit by Mike Schmidt. The 1-0 pitch, up high, ball 2. But the fellow the Phillies have missed this year is the left fielder Greg Luzinski, who just got back into action. You got to figure that he'd have 25 or 30 home runs too, the way he swings the bat. And this Philadelphia Philly ball club has found success this year for the first time. It's a good experience for them. There's no doubt that this will be one of the prime contenders again next season. It's a young ball club. The only one with any age at all would be in center field Del Hunter. I think he's just about 30, 31 years of age. And a healthy Wayne Twitchell will be with him for a full season, too. He's done a commendable job this year despite all the injuries. The 2-0 pitch and the stick throw goes to first base. He almost picked off this. Actually a little bit slow getting back there on the move by Steve Crawford. And a sweeping tag by Montanese almost nailed him. No place to go, Richie. And the pitch. Swing and a miss by Robbie. And the count of 2 balls and a strike on Robertson. Pirates have 21 games left, including this one. The Phillies have 20. Phillies have a host left with Montreal, a club they haven't been able to beat. Swing and a miss by Robertson, strike two. Now Carlton going with nothing but fastballs here on Robertson this time around. Bobby hit a slider or a breaking ball for the home run in the second. He's thrown nothing but fastballs away on him here in this series of pitches in the fourth inning. 2-1 lead for the Pirates. 2 down, Zisk at first, and the Pirates fourth. And the pitch underway to Robertson. He struck him out, swinging on the fastball away. I get the feeling that Mr. Carlton is going to go with that pitch on the big red head for a while until he proves he can hit it. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth, and the Pirates lead 2-1.
It's that time of year again. All the great shows are on TV. The superstars, spectaculars, exciting games. And that's the time Admiral brings you that once-a-year chance to save and save on TV and stereo. Admiral's annual reel sale is on right now. You can save big money this month on the TV you need for your family. Take a black and white portable, just the right size for the kids' room or the deck. Or look at that honey of a portable with super solar color, the brightest color picture in TV. Admiral, the portable TV specialist, brings you sale prices on 100% solid-state console TV, too. Bright 25-inch pictures and a set with all the features like Color Master Control, double-sided cabinet, and, well, believe me, it's really loaded. But the price is really something else. Admiral real sale prices are the lowest of the year. On portable TV, on console TV, and on console stereo, too. See them all and hear about those low real sale prices at your nearest Admiral dealers this week.
Well, just north of here in New York City, Bob Force going for the Cardinals. He's been a promising young pitcher for them. And Jerry Koosman, the veteran for the Mets. No score in that ball game. Martinez, Luzinski, and Johnston go in the fourth inning. Well, we got the chance. Let's pause. 20 seconds for our local station.
A tip from the Federal Trade Commission. If you've ever been denied a loan, a job, or insurance because of an incorrect credit report, the FTC reminds you of your right to visit the reporting agency. They must tell you the collected information and correct any inaccuracies. For more information, write to the Federal Trade Commission, Washington, D.C., 20580.
Well, the Phillies go with the lineup that got them their run in the second inning and had Ellis in a bases-loaded jam before he got the line drive double play. That's Martinez, Luzinski, and Johnson. Willie singled and scored the Phillies run in the second inning. A slider is on the inside corner, taking strike one. Martinez on a 7-game hitting streak, batting at .310. They'll make it .311 with that base hit. 6 home runs. He's driven in 71. He's had quite a season. Fastball away by Doc. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ellis 12-9 on the season. But against the Phillies this year, no wins and 2 defeats. Lifetime, he's won 7 and lost 9. The 1-1 pitch. Changeup bounced to the shortstop. Tavares, 2 hopper. He's got him at first. 1 down. Martinez tried to go to the opposite field on an off-speed pitch by Ellis. Hit it directly to the shortstop, Tavares. Say that Tony Taylor has had pretty good impact on Mr. Martinez. Made him a bit more patient. Luzinski walked in the second inning. The Pirates pull around the left field on this big fella. He homered against the Bucks in Pittsburgh. Rounds to third base. Howe gets a big hopper. His throw in time. 2 down. 2 up and 2 down in the fourth inning for the Philadelphia Phillies. Doc Ellis will go to Jay Johnstone, who lined a double over the head of Oliver in center field to drive in the Phillies' first run and only run. Pirates leading 2-1. Paul Owens has done a whale of a job putting this ball club together. He took over for Frank Lucchese, became the general manager, then went right down on the field and became the manager and the general manager. Put the monkey right on his own back, looked at a certain bunch of ball players and weeded out the ones he didn't want, and has put together a good ball club. Johnstone pops up off the left side. Tavares drifting back will make the play, and that'll retire the Phillies in the fourth inning in order. No, he's completed 4, and the Pirates lead 2-1.
The simple fact is that the dying patient has very little social value. He's no longer productive. He's not bringing in the bacon. And he's not producing.
What can a terminal patient tell the living? I'm John Hadar, extending an invitation to join us on 60 to 6 News beginning Monday for a new series, Life's Final Adventure. A look at how a terminal patient faces up to a fatal diagnosis. Starting next Monday during 60 to 6 News here on KDKA. Goodwill Industries have changed. Years ago, handicapped people were considered social rejects. Today, Goodwill Industries of Pittsburgh has changed that by giving the handicapped a chance to prove they can do any job. KDKA urges you to support Goodwill by calling 481-9000. Good things happen at Goodwill.
Standing in now, Arthur Howe. Bucks leading 2-1. If you wonder how that happened in the second inning, Carlton pitching, Stargell singled, and Robbie Robertson took him out of the park for number 14. They came back for a run in the second, and Howe had a lot to do to stop them from getting more. Fly ball deep right field, back Johnstone. He's got it. They had the bases loaded. And one out when Carlton hit a screeching line drive to third, and Arthur Howe grabbed it, ran to third, and doubled up Luzinski and prevented the Phils from getting a very big inning. Now Frank Tavares, who bounced out to short, standing in. Montreal beat the Cubbies 6-1. Reds lead Atlanta 1-0 into 1. St. Louis is in New York. High pitch for a ball. Dodgers later on play in San Francisco. Ball 1 and no strikes to Frank Tavares. Carlton's fastball, a swing and a miss. 1-1. Well, they've just put up on the board a special welcome to the mayor of Pittsburgh tonight, the Honorable Pete Flaherty. Visiting over in the press box with Al Abrams, Bob Smizik, Luke Quay, and Charlie Feeney and company. Swinging the foul back. A ball and 2 strikes. Game being aired here in this area by the veteran broadcaster By Song, along with his partners Harry Callis and Richie Ashburn. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Tavares watches it, strike 3. That's 4 strikeouts now for Carlton. Pirates leading 2-1 here in the 5th. 2 down. The batter Ellis bounced out to second, back in the 3rd. One strike. Nothing in 1 to count. Carlton wasting no time. Right back with a fastball underneath. Ball 1, strike 1. Trainer Tony Barterome, very busy tonight. He was working on the aches and pains and those with chest colds. The 1-1. High, ball 2. Even stuck the old gunner in a whirlpool bath and came up with a back adjustment and a big rub. It's time when, I tell you, this time of the year, and you're fighting for everything, and you get in late at night as a result of a bad situation in Chicago's airport. Ball 3. And invariably, telephones ring in the morning early. I need 4 for the ball game. I'll be glad to pay for them. You don't dare shut your phone off for fear it's somebody calling from your family or the ball club in there for a strike. I just couldn't believe anybody would call at 8 o'clock in the morning, but of course they didn't know we didn't get to bed till 3. Here's the 3-2 pitch. He has, oh my, Ellis can't believe this. Come on, Kibby, what are you doing? That fastball was way upstairs. He called him out. We go now to the bottom of the fifth. I wish you'd have called pitches like that up there when Bobby Moose was pitching the sixth game against Baltimore. We'd have had it over with. We go to the bottom of the fifth. 2-1, Pittsburgh.
All right, the Pirates are really bucking along now, and if you want them to drive for 5 and take the World Series too, now is the time to back the Bucks. Be with the Bucks all the way. KDKA thinks Pirate baseball is a series business. See ya, Bucks! There's lots of summer left, and still lots of time to have a backyard fair. What's a backyard fair? Well, it's boys and girls having fun, playing games, and at the same time raising money for the Western Pennsylvania Leukemia Society. Leukemia research costs money, and having a backyard fair is one important way of raising funds needed to continue the research that will lead to a cure. Their nickels, dimes, and quarters all add up. And to plan a backyard fair in your neighborhood, send for a How to Do It kit to Western Pennsylvania Leukemia Society, 907 Empire Building, Pittsburgh.
Now your host for Pirate Baseball is your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer, who has immediate delivery on America's #1 selling compact. The other day out there before I left home, I had a chance to visit with Ed Shaw and all at Suburban Chrysler Plymouth. Man, you ought to take a look at that 1975 Cordova. Oh, man, what an automobile. You stick with Chrysler Plymouth, my friends, and let the old gunner tell you, you will not go wrong. Well, maybe you better believe me and Mary Jean, anyhow. That little gal packs a wicked punch. You folks have seen. Here's Unser, drew an intentional walk back in the second inning. Takes it low from Doc Ellis, ball 1. Pirates leading 2-1 here in the bottom of the fifth. Left-hand batting Del Unser comes in with a .269 batting average. Hits a fly ball shallow left. Stargell running hard and getting under. 1 out. There's one time an umpire ran out from underneath his cap, Shaq Crawford. I remember a catcher the Phillies used to have, and you couldn't get his cap off no matter what you did. He could have 5 guys hit him at home plate. That cap would still be on. He had a size 9 hat. He wore a size 7 cap because he was totally bald. Our old buddy Andy Seminick. You never got rid of that cap. Swinging a foul by Boone. He jammed. You just could not get that cap off his coconut. Andy Seminick. He's a Pennsylvanian. Played many years with the Phillies and one of the most durable catchers I think I've ever known. And thank goodness he had a fine temperament. The Yankees at Baltimore in Game 1 are tied up 2-2 at the end of 10. Or is that the end of 9? They're in the 12th inning. 2-2, Game 1. A bunt by Boone, charging is Arthur Howe. Snaps his throw and got him. What a play. I want to tell you that Arthur Howe is something. He comes off that bench when manager Murtaugh wants to give Richie Hebner a little rest, and he just does a job. Great play, Arthur. Just a great play. Here's Carlton now, who lined hard to Arthur Howe in the second inning with the bases loaded. And I want to tell you, if it's a foot either way, he's got himself a bases loaded double that'll knock in a couple of points, if not 3. That's where we got a big break in this game. Ball inside, ball 1. You believe me when I tell you, we were lucky in that second inning to get out of that inning with only 1 run. Just plain lucky. But I'd rather be lucky than good. 1 ball, no strikes to Carlton. Swing and a miss, 1-1. 2 down, none on, 2-1 Pittsburgh, 5th inning. Slowed up, docked it on the next pitch, moved it inside off the left knee. 2 balls and a strike off the left knee. Pirates come home, and we're going to go right at the Cardinals in the Mets. swing and a high chop hit up toward Bobby Robertson. He's got the ball. Feeds off slowly to Ellis, and that'll do it. We are through 5 innings of play. The Pirates 2 runs on 3 hits. The Phillies 1 on 2.
Hello, 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 Mean Mary Jean, our superstar. Tell 'em about our Chrysler Plymouth car.
Sure will, fellas. I'm going to tell 'em about 8 great small car buys that are even better buys at cleanup time.
Please tell us some more.
Okay, your Chrysler Plymouth dealer has dusters and valiants and stamps, and they're all going at great cleanup prices.
We want to hear it all.
Listen, did you know that America's #1 selling contacts come from Plymouth? That's right. These same valiants and dusters and stamps are America's favorite. So you know they gotta be good. And when you can get them at a cleanup price, that's terrific. 8 great superstar buys. Know what I mean?
Thank you, Mean Mary Jean, for coming through. That's why we love you.
Come on in for a great deal on America's #1 selling small car at your Piratland Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
You can now get an official Pirate team picture at your Piratland Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
For the Pirates now in the 6th inning is the excellent Philadelphia ground crew has landscaped everything and changed the bases here as they do. We go to the 6th, leading 2-1. In the event you just tuned in, Carlton pitching in the 2nd inning, Stargell got a base hit. 1 out later, Robertson hit a breaking ball in the seats, his 14th homer of the year. Phillies tied it in the 2nd when Montañez singled, Lazinski walked. Johnstone doubled him home. Stennett fouls to the right out of play. Rennie struck out, bounced out to short. He has been some kind of tough. He has a 9-game batting streak riding. He's hit in 20 of 21 games. Here's the 0-1 to Ronaldo, and he fouls another one back out of play. Carlton is allowed with 3 base hits. Cardinals and the New York Mets at the end of 1.5. The Cardinals lead there 1-0. Check that, tied up 1-1. No balls, 2 strikes to Stennett. He belt handles one out into right center for a base hit. He got locked up on that. Carlton ran that ball right in on his fist. He did not mean to really hit it. He sort of half ducked away. And Stennett now has a 10-game batting streak. That's the advantage of that thick bat handle. And that's hit number 4 against Carlton. Here's Sanguin, who ripped a single to left in the 1st inning, bounced out to short in the 3rd. Pirates 2, the Phillies 1 in the 6th inning. Stennett opening up with a base hit into right center. Carlton checks now at 1st. To the plate. Sanguin smacks it right on one hop to Boa. Handcuffs him. He throws in time for 1. Not in time at 1st. That ball almost killed Boa. It knocked him flat, but he came up with the ball and flipped it up in time to cash, and the return throw to first was not quite in time. Oh, was that hit. If he's able to field it, he has an easy double play. But I'll tell you something. He didn't even have time to think about that. The batter now, Al Oliver, 0 for 2, wrapped into a double play and went down swinging. Runner at first, Sanguin, 1 out, 2-1, Pittsburgh in the 6th. Carlton, the ball outside to Oliver. To the plate. Fastball hit off the left side, through for a base hit. Sanguin going up to 2nd and will hold there. And the Pirates have runners at 1st and 2nd, 1 out to Wilbur Darnell Stargell. Stargell singled in the 2nd inning. Coming off a fantastic performance yesterday. So he's had 12 hits in his last 13 at bat. Check his last 14 at bat. Here's a pitch from Carlton. It's blown away to Wilbur, ball 1. Sanguin at 2nd. Oliver at 1st. Pirates are in with 2 base hits in this inning. Carlton back on the 1-0. Stargell a swing, 1-1. 3:30 down the lines here at Veterans Stadium. 371 right center, left center. 408 straight away. Runners lead away, and the 1-1 to Stargell hits a drive into the gap into left center. And it's going to be a base hit. It bounces around out there. We're going to have runners on the corners, and we're going to lead 3-1. So Stargell drives in his 84th run. And he went to the opposite field into the gap. Fast fielding by Unser prevented a double. Phillies are getting up some action. Looks like Gene Garber. Here's Richie Zisk, the batter. It's low, ball 1. Zisk hits a fly ball deep into right center. Tagging is Al Oliver. Johnstone has the ball. They'll not even make a play, and the Pirates lead 4-1. 94 runs batted in by Richie Zisk. Getting the job done. Getting the fly ball of depth proportion. Into deep right. Stargell holding it first. And the batter will be Bobby Robertson, who homered in the second inning with a man aboard, went down swinging in the fourth. Carlton works to him, swinging a miss, strike 1. No balls and a strike to Bobby. Outfield deep and around to the left. Stargell at first base. He was on when Bobby homered in the second. Pitches outside from Carlton. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pirates with 2 runs here in the 6th, now leading 4-1. Opened up with a bloop single by Stennett. Sanguin hit a bullet that could have been a double play had they been able to hold on to it. And a high twisting foul to the right out of play. And there's where the Pirates got a break. Where we got one in the second inning the Phillies didn't have. With the bases loaded, 1 out, Carlton hit a screamer, but right at Arthur Howell. He grabbed it and ran to third to double up Luzinski, and the Phillies were out of the inning with only 1 run. Now in this inning, the 6th, if they're able to hold the ball that Sanguin hit, they get a double play. And the Pirates would still be looking for their first run of this inning. But they didn't get it. And then it came on. 1-2 pitch, and Robbie takes it high. For when Sanguin was then safe at first base, Oliver singled to left, sending Sanguin to second. Stargell then took Carlton to left center field for a single, driving in Sanguin, sending Oliver to third, from whence he scored on the fly ball to deep right by Richie Zisk. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Robertson. The pitch. It's low, ball 3, and Stargell now will be off and running. 3-2 the count. 2 down in the 6th inning, Pirates 4, and the Cardinals, or the Phillies 1. I just looked up on the board there. Wanted to tell you the Cardinals and the Mets are tied up 1-1. The outfield necessarily deep and around to the left to Robertson. Ball 3, strike 2 pitch coming in. He goes down swinging on a slider away, and that retires the side, and Carlton has recorded his 6th strikeout. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and the man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Bucks lead 4-1.
Hello, me, Mary Jean, our superstar. Tell them about our Chrysler Plymouth car.
Okay, me and my friends here are going to tell them how they've been waiting to buy a full-size car. They're really smart, right?
Tell us, Mary Jean.
I mean, it's cleanup time at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
That's right, Mary Jean. Your Chrysler Plymouth dealer is getting ready for his new 75. So he's putting a year-end price on his full-size 74 Furies and Chryslers.
Isn't that terrific?
You know, for some people, a full-size car isn't a luxury, it's a necessity.
And at cleanup time, it makes a great buy. Fury and Chrysler.
Yeah, sometimes it's smart to wait. Know what I mean?
Sure do.
Thank you, Dean Mary D, for coming through. That's why we love you.
Come on in for a great cleanup deal on a Fury or Chrysler at your Pilot Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer. For the homestanding Phillies, Cash, Bo, and Mike Schmidt here. In the sixth inning, David Cash, who's 0 for 2, struck out and lined out to right, will be the first opponent. Followed in by Bo and Schmidt, and thus far Ellis has made them into an 0 for 6 trio. One of the secrets of trying to beat the Philadelphia Ball Club is to keep Mike Schmidt away from coming up to the plate with men on. He is hitting a 302 going into the ball game. He has 96 walks. He has 149 hits. He scored 102 runs, in which he leads the league. He leads the league in homers with 35 and runs batted in with 110. So the trick is to keep Cash and Bo off there before Schmidt gets up. Thus far, Doc Ellis has been able to do that. Arthur Howe comes up even at third. Outfield plays Cash to pull the ball. They'll gap him in right center. This will shut up and right about 70 feet off the line. Doc Ellis getting the sign from Sanguin, ready to go. Cash takes it inside, ball one. A lot of the folks were wondering whether or not the so-called bad feeling between the Pirates and the Phillies could erupt into a fight. Sanguin had a pretty good answer to that. Only if they make it. We shouldn't ever pick one. Not when we are where we are. You don't want to lose anybody in a game like this. On the corner, 1-1. Only if we're crowded into one. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Cash fouls away. Strike two. Really makes sense when you think about it. You get in a battle, you can get hurt. If you lose 2 or 3 of your stars at this stage of the race, you're in trouble, Nellie.
I don't think there's any ill feeling here. You can see it around the batting cage. I think Cash's disappointment was not so much at getting hit. He didn't enjoy that, but I think the way they lost out there really hurt them.
1-2 pitch. There's a base hit by Cash up the middle. Doc hung something up in his eyes. That's 8 games now in which Cash has hit safely. Here's Larry Boa. He's 0 for 2, bounced to second and grounded out to first. Pirates leading 4-1. Now we need a double dipper. It's tough to double this guy up. Boa can fly. And up there batting left-handed. He's in with 159 hits, and he scored 88 runs. Howell comes up tight at third to him. Ellis sends a breaking ball high, ball one. One ball and no strikes. Cash leading off first, held by Bobby Robertson. And there at the knees, 1-1. Cash, no particular threat to steal. In the press room tonight, a lot of conversation about why Brock would try to steal a base after having stolen 2 and having set the record and trailing in the game in the 8th or 9th inning when he tried the third time by the score of 2-8. Here's the 1-1, and Boa takes it outside, 2-1. Harry Walker says the game has changed a lot, and you do your thing. And you'll see a lot of times when the Reds are in front 6 or 7 runs, that's when Morgan will do most of his stealing. There were those that sort of felt that Brock should not be trying to steal when he's down by 6. But the older heads of Dykes, Jimmy Dykes and company, sort of went with him. Grounded down to Robertson. Up to Taveras. One play. Back to first. No. Ball gets away, and Bo will get into second. Fan interference. Fan leaned over the railing for that ball. And I'll tell you, he's going to get heck from that umpire. Keep your hands off it. All right, they're going to charge Tavares with an error. Now, let me say one thing in Frank's defense. He did not get a good throw from Bobby Robertson. He stuck it in there fast, realizing the speed of the runners. And, boy, Tavares had to pick that ball off his shoe top to get away from Cash, still get the out. And he never had a good chance to really throw to first, Nellie.
Now, he gave him a very poor throw, and rather unusual for Robertson. He probably threw it as well as anybody, but as you said, it was a low throw down at the feet. I don't know how he got one out of it, to be honest.
Well, he did. He held in there. Now, and Bobby Robertson, who normally makes the great throw, just that time had to hurry because he knew his ball could fly and Cash could move, so sometimes speed on the part of the opposition makes you do things you don't want to do. If he feeds it to him, if he's able to feed it to him properly, I think they're going to get the double play because it was awfully close as it was. Here's Mike Schmidt over 2. Ball 1 high. Pirates lead 4-1. I'll tell you one thing, that fan that reached over with the ball, he's lucky Sennett didn't knock him into the upper deck. Plate umpire Terry Tatum went over to admonish him, don't touch a ball that's in play. Inside to Schmidt, ball 2. Tell you another thing, you don't know. You might pick it up and throw the ball, and then your man's able to go anywhere else. When it's in play, keep your hands off it, unless you got a uniform on. 2 balls and no strikes. 1 out, Bull at second base. Pirates lead 4-1, 6th inning. Doc Ellis working to Mike Schmidt. Not Doc ready in the 2-0. And he sends it in there. 2-1. We're swung way around to the left to this guy, and necessarily so. Ball 2 and strike 1 to Mike. And it's hit deep to left, hooking foul. Ball 2, strike 2. This guy giving it a good run for MVP of the National League. But he'll get some strong challenges. Might take a look out there in Los Angeles. There's a guy named Steve Garvey's having one whale of a year.
Jimmy Wynn having a big year.
Ball 2 and strike 2. It'd be pretty hard to pinpoint a guy that could do it on your own ball club, Pittsburgh, and I'll tell you why in a moment. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out swinging on a slider, I think, something away from it. I know that you have favorites on your ball club, the Pirates, but when you try to sit down and say which one Pirate has been the most valuable, you could put them in a hat and pick them out, and you'd almost have a dead heat, I think, Nellie. It's just tough to say one man over anybody else, the way it's been going.
Yeah, I don't know who you could pick. Scargill had a whale of a year. Everybody kind of not noticing him too much, but consistently day in, day out, he's done his job. You could say the same thing about all of his business.
Bet.
Sennett, Sanguine playing every day. Tavares.
Here's Montañez now.
But a steady ball player.
He singled and scored, bounced to short, takes it inside a ball. I don't think any of the Pirates are worrying about that award. They want to think about the run for the Roses. Play somebody 3 out of 5 and driving for 5, and then hopefully 4 out of 7. 1 ball, no strike pitch. Montañez watching underneath the knees, ball 2, and Doc stares.
That MVP award looks good on the wall, but the World Championship will buy the house if you put the wall up, you know?
Well, they will if Mother will let you have any after Uncle gets through with it. 2 balls and no strikes. Outside, ball 3, and Doc stares again, and I think he believes Kibler's moving the plate around on him. Put him on pitch to Lazinski, to heck with it. Go ahead and challenge. 3 balls, no strikes. And he whips it in there, 3-1. Montañez the batter. 4-1 Pittsburgh in the bottom of the sixth. Ellis to Montañez. Pops him foul out of play. We come home to play the Cardinals and the Mets. Now you get to take a look at Arthur Howe. Take a good long look. You're seeing some determination. This means he's in here playing. This is a guy that not too many weeks ago you'd say Arthur who? You say Arthur Howe, not Arthur who. You look at Arthur, you'll find out, huh?
Arthur what?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's tough for a guy not to play every day and playing big ball games like this, and he handles it pretty well.
Ball 3 and strike 2. Pitch. Slammed off the chest of Ellis. He gets the ball quickly and throws to first. It skips off Montañez's head, goes into right field to score a run, and Montañez is going to go to third. Doc fell down. I don't know if he got hurt. He got ripped with a wicked shot off his chest. And Murtaugh's arguing that he was out of the line with the plate umpire Kibler. When Ellis fell down, he was way inside the line when he threw the ball. And Kibler saying that Montañez was running on the outside of the line. There's no way he could be doing that, I'll tell you now. Because when Ellis threw the ball, he was lying on the ground inside the foul line. But we're going to lose this argument. And Kibler seems to be more aggressive as an umpire now than I've seen him in quite a while. Murtaugh now is going to go out and check and see if Ellis is all right. Did they give him a hit? They must have. Yeah, he'll get a base hit. And Ellis, I think, got hit on the bare hand. Ellie, you got the glasses on him. What do you see with Barterome and Ellis?
That's exactly where it was, on the meat hand, and he just had no chance to get out of there, and he's going to be gone, and quite possibly it could be a little bit longer duration than the Pirates had hoped for in a stretch drive like this, but I'm not too sure that he didn't get hit on the back of the hand rather than the palm of the hand where you could give a little bit with the ball. And fingers, the bones, and the hand are kind of funny things. Trying to diagnose exactly whether you have a serious break or what it might be, but he was hit right on the back of the right wrist. Right at the wrist, as a matter of fact, on the back of the right hand.
Kibler's mad down there with Murtaugh. Of course, he hasn't forgotten Murtaugh ripping him apart in Game 6 of the World Series of 1971, in which Murtaugh was fined for what he said when he alluded to the fact that he must have choked up or something, because Kibler's normally a low ball caller and Palmer a high ball pitcher. And Moose was jawing with him all day long. Every pitch that Moose threw down around the knees was called a ball, and everything Palmer threw up high was called a strike, in Murtaugh's opinion. And I'll tell you something, it really burned him up. And now Kibler's jawing again, and Murtaugh's all over him, because he's just arguing right and left down there. I will say this. I can't say whether Montañez was in or out of the line, but I do know this, that when Ellis threw the ball, he was inside the foul line because he was knocked down as he slipped to throw the ball. He fell down and he lay inside the foul line at first. Now, if that's the case, there's a good chance Montañez would be running inside the line to get hit with that pitch.
Murtaugh thought he was, and I'll tell you, he's got a good view of it because he is in line with the first base line, directly behind it on the third base side. And
now we got Keeson in here. What?
Bruce Keeson, they're signaling from the dugout. They want to know if we had any picture of that. Well, we have no television up here. We're not on television, so there's no way we could tell honestly.
This would be the one time we'd be smart enough not to TV again.
Well, let's pause while we have the opportunity here. 10 seconds for station identification on the Pirates Baseball Network.
All the good sports are on Pirates, KBC, Pittsburgh.
Well, Keeson has all night to warm up till he's ready. And this sets us up for some fun. And I want to double check. I suppose that they're going to have to give Montañez a run batted in on the ball. I don't see how they can.
Probably an error, I think, on
that. Nelly. Well, they gave him a hit now.
Did they? Well, I mean, it had to be a hit and an error, I'm sure.
There is a hit and an error. The question is whether or not he got the run batted in. I'll check on that while Keeson warms up, and you can bring us up on the scoreboard. We got any more?
All right, the log on Keeson. His record is 7 wins, 7 defeats. He's had a couple of saves so far this year, and his last win came against this ball club on Labor Day in the second game of the doubleheader, and drew a huge response from this crowd when he was introduced. When he beamed Dave Cash. Cash is of the opinion he was throwing at him, but Keeson said no way. Well, here's the scores. Montreal beat Chicago 6-1 in the first of 2 at Montreal. As the winning pitcher was Renko, Bonham lost it. Mundy and Jorgensen hit home runs, 2 by Jorgensen, accounting for 4 of those 6 runs. No score in the top of the first inning. Burris against Walker in game number 2. St. Louis and New York at Chase Stadium after 3. They're tied 1-1. Bob Forsch and Jerry Kuzman going. And both runs were scored in the first inning. Cardinals on the top of the first, and the Mets in the bottom. Atlanta and Cincinnati, the Reds got a run in the first inning off Phil Micro, and they lead 1-0 behind Clay Kirby into the bottom of the third at Cincinnati. They trail the Dodgers by 3.5. The Dodgers tonight are at San Francisco, and D'Acquisto working that ball game for San Francisco. Messersmith going for Los Angeles. Houston and San Diego, the other ball game. Big ball game in the American League, a doubleheader in the first of 2. New York and Baltimore at Baltimore. They're in the bottom of the 14th inning, and it's tied 2-2. Grimsley going all the way for Baltimore. Rudy May started. Sparky Lyle has been on since the 10th inning. Etchebarren hit his first home run of the year. It came in the 5th inning with nobody on to tie that game at 2-2, and they've thrown nothing but zeros up since, and they're in the bottom of the 14th. That's the first of 2, as New York leads Baltimore by 2 games and Boston by 2. Red Sox are at Cleveland. They're tied 1-1 to the bottom of the 5th inning. Drago against Gaylord Perry. The other ball game, division-leading Oakland is at Minnesota. Abbott to go against Decker. Texas 6.5 back will send Bibby against Cusack for the Chicago White Sox. And Milwaukee to Detroit. They lead 1-0 over Detroit after 3. Slayton against Luke Walker. Bruce Keeson continues to loosen up, and he'll be given as much time as he needs to loosen. As the score is 4-2, and a ball hit wickedly back to the mound off the right wrist of Doc Ellis, the back of the hand, and I'm sure that they'll take him to the hospital and get some precautionary exercises. Bob?
No doubt about that, and we've gone over to get another ruling on that play. They did give Montañez a base hit. They'll charge Doc with a throwing error for having hit Montañez in the back, and they'll allow Boa to score on the error. Thus, the run is unearned for the moment. And there is no run batted in for Montañez. And Keeson will be going to Lazinski. Well, it doesn't look like it to me. It'll be Lazinski. When Keeson says he's ready, and there's not a thing that umpire Kibler can do about it until Keeson says he's ready. So while the whip is warming up, let's pause 20 seconds for our local station.
Now more than ever, the Liberty tubes are a mess. So now is the time to call on the commuter computer. If you're still trying to figure a way to and from Pittsburgh, have your employer contact the commuter computer to get you moving.
All right, Keeson says he's ready, and Lazinski, who walked and bounced out to third. We're in the bottom of the 6th, and it's 4-2 Pittsburgh. Montañez at third. And Keeson, who's now the relief man, long and short, with the absence of Justy, will be standing in. We are loosening, however, Juan Pizarro also. Keeson to the windup. Here comes the pitch. And he throws it over the plate for a strike. It's been a game of breaks in a couple of ways. Foul out of play to the right. We got a tremendous break in the second inning with the bases loaded when Carlton hit a screamer right at Arthur Howe, who stepped on third to double Lazinski. We got another break in the sixth inning when Sanguin hit one that liked to undress Boa, but if he fields the ball cleanly, they got a double play, and we don't get the 2 runs. Fly ball, right field, slicing out of here, foul. And now they get a break on a ball that hit right back to Ellis, but hit him on the hand, and hopefully no break to Ellis's fingers. And that scored the run from second and Boa. We argued to no avail about Martinez running inside the line because when Doc Ellis threw the ball, he was lying on his back practically, and he was inside the line. But we didn't get the call. Pitch to Lazinski. Good night. He lit up the lights on Broadway. That means a called third strike. 1 run that is unearned on 2 hits and an error. 1 left at the end of 6. Pirates 4 and the Phillies 2.
Hello, me, Mary Jean, our superstar. Tell 'em about our Chrysler Plymouth car.
Okay, fellas. Based on combined figures from March through June, you know who's number 1 in small car sales? We are.
Please tell us some more.
I mean, America's best-selling small cars come from Plymouth. We outsold Pinto, Vega, VW, Mustang 2, and Dodge.
We want to hear it all.
Well, small wonder we're number 1. Thus, their value and stamp are the common sense cars. Small outside, big inside, economical all over. And they're all clean-up price at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. Because it costs us more to keep them than to sell them. Oh, you know what I mean?
Thank you, me, Mary Jean, for coming through. That's why we love you.
Come on in for a great deal on America's #1 selling small car at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
You can now get an official Pirate team picture at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Baseball has been brought to you by your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Your host now is Joy, nature's high-protein food for dogs. Higher in protein, and it still costs less than most other brands. Well, the announcement in the background, Doc Ellis being taken to the hospital here locally. I don't know the name of it, but they're going to take a good look at his hand. He was hit severely on that line drive off the bat of Martinez in the 6th inning. Came on to get to the final out, striking out Luzinski. Hart Howe opens up the 7th against Carlton. Lines deep to left field. Back is Luzinski looking. He can't get it. Home run Howe. Number 1 for Arthur Howe. And that kid's got to be floating around the base paths. He's smiling, I'll tell you, and it's got to be an enjoyable one. The youngster's first major league home run, and he's no youngster. He's 27 years of age. 4 years at Wyoming. Graduated from high school, or college rather. Didn't play, wasn't drafted by anybody. Came into a tryout camp in Pittsburgh. 2 years later, they signed him up, and what do you know? Homers off one of the top pitchers in baseball. Steve Carlton, the Bucks lead 5-2. Tavares swings and misses on the first pitch, strike 1. And another swing and a miss, strike 2. Manny Murtaugh has some leprechauns going for him here or something. He has made the moves that you sometimes wonder. With a guy like Richie Hebner going 8 for 10 in the series in Chicago, he goes with a guy named Art Howe. Look what he's done. Curve in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I guess that's why he's managing and why he's successful. Not a very easy job. A lot of people do it very well, sitting at a great distance when nobody knows your mistakes and they remember everything you said was right. The 1-2 pitch to Tavares, down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch, it is swung on and missed, strike 3. Tavares strikes out. That's the 7th strikeout by Carlton. Pirates with a home run by Robertson in the 2nd inning with Scargillon get on the boards first. 2-0. The Phillies came back to get a run. And in the 6th inning, the Bucks got 2 more on base hits by Scargill and a sacrifice fly by Thiessen is the batter. And the fastball away on him, ball 1. Man's roaring here with Thiessen up. Somebody hollering, throw at him. The 1-0 pitch. And it is popped foul off the first base side, and it's out of play. It's a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Powell's first major league home run. He had some good home run season in the minors. 12 his first year, 14 his second year. And in the 59 games down at Charleston this year, he hit 8. So he has power. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Keeson. Strike 2. Pirates lead 5-2, but they have lost Doc Ellis. A 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Keeson swings and misses. The ball dropped by Bob Boone. He tags him. That's the second out of the inning. 8 strikeouts for Steve Carlson, and Stennett, who singled in the 6th inning to extend his hitting streak to 10 games, is the batter. Pirates in the fields even on the year at 8-8. We have only won 1 game in this ballpark. They have won 6 of the previous 7. Pirates won 7 out of 9 in Pittsburgh. Phillies a tough ball club in this park. Stennett bounces to third, and Schmidt, a long throw, is in time to get running. That'll retire the Pirates, but the home run by Art Howe gives us a run on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. And we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Pirates lead 5-2.
Is your dog getting enough protein? You know, protein is a vitally important nutrient in every balanced ration for man's friend. Joy, nature's food for dogs, contains 25% protein in both its kibbled and chunks of joy. Furthermore, Joy, this nourishing food for dogs, is a scientific blend of grains and meat solids that provides your dog with a nutritious diet that'll contribute to his good health and habits. So compare labels when you shop for dog food. You'll find Joy's 25% protein content to be higher than most of its competitors. For Joy contains dehydrated meat value equivalent to 60% fresh meat and is fortified by Joy's exclusive double-roasted toasted process. So today, fill your dog's feeding bowl with that high-protein, scientifically balanced dry dog food and watch him jump for joy. That's Joy, nature's food for dogs, with 25% protein. You'll find Joy dog food at your Stop and Go, FGA, and Maricini's markets.
Now, Bruce Keeson has another run to work with here with a 5-2 lead in the final 3 innings. He'll be facing the 6, 7, and 8 batters. Left-handed hitter Jay Johnstone, followed by another left-hander Del Unser, and then the catcher, right-handed hitting Bob Boone. The loss of Dave Justy is the tenure. We're not sure because Dave will be joining us tomorrow. His back bothering him. He had a very severe problem about 1969. It's not anything near that importance right now to him, but still a painful thing. And the loss of Doc Ellis. So the Bucs pitching staff is going to have to do some double duty here. Johnstone doubled a drive and a run in the second, popped to short in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch by Bruce, and it's in there, taking strike 1. As we've seen of Johnstone, he looks like he likes the ball out over the plate. Keeson that time ran it right in on his fist, and he backed off. Hit the ball well, but center field in the 2nd inning, a double well over the head of Oliver. Pitch by Bruce, the changeup in there, taking strike 2. That's the pitch that was so effective for Keeson in that game you pitched the other day, and time is called now as the batter, Jay Johnstone, drops the bat, folds his arms, and looks right into the eyes of the umpire, John Kibling. Umpires don't like to get shown up like that, and now Johnstone is right on top of him, John with him. Shag Crawford's starting to come in, and also Billy DeMars at third to get him out of there. Keeson with that lollipop off-speed curveball just broke it right over the plate. Johnstone didn't seem to think so, and he continues now arguing with John Kibler. Keeson telling, or Kibler rather, telling Keeson to go ahead and pitch if you want. He stares in for the sign. Johnstone is back in there now in the 0-2 pitch. He is down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kibler a little bit annoyed with Mr. Johnstone. Umpires don't mind you jawing with them a bit, but when you drop the bat, fold your arms, and look back at them like that, I guess they figure getting showed up, and rightly so. The 1-2 pitch by Keeson to Jay Johnstone is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit up the middle. And Johnson goes 2 for 3 with that single up the middle. That'll bring up Dale Hunter, who drew an intentional walk in the second inning. He flied to left in the fifth. Pirates need a double play ball. Hunter kind of hitter that sprays the ball around quite a bit. Mardell up close at third base. Playing off the bag. Robertson behind Johnstone. Hunter hitting at 269. Keaton from the belt. Checks the runner. Here's the pitch to Hunter. Changeup is down low. Ball 1. Bucks have turned over one double play, and that was a big one in the second inning with the bases loaded. A line shot to Howell off the bat of Krupp, doubling Luzinski at third base. Line drive, center field. It's another base hit. Oliver tries to cut it off. He does, holding it to a long single, but the Phillies have runners at first and third and nobody out. Bruce Keaton sets up for back-to-back singles right up the middle by left-handed hitters Johnstone and Hunter. And he's in trouble with runners at first and third, and Tommy Hudson will pinch hit for the catcher, Bob Boone. Another left-handed batter. These were the Pirates, and that's Dave Jeffrey, who was equally effective against left-handers as right-handers, and possibly more against left-handed batters. Situations like this. Phillies starting to get activity in their bullpen as Tommy Hudson pinch hits for Bob Boone with runners at first and third, nobody out, and the Pirates leading 5-2. Hudson, another one of those spray-type hitters. As a pinch hitter, has had 5 hits in 17 times at bat, and has had 1 home run, driven in 3 as a pinch hitter. He's batting .235 overall with 3 homers, 28 RBI. Pirates are back for the double play. They give up a run to get 2. Here's a pitch to Hudson. It is down low, ball 1. Pirates start to get activity in their bullpen. John Moreland and Ramon Hernandez start to throw. The 1-0 pitch by Keaton to Tommy Hudson is a fastball away, ball 2. Bill Bruce off to a shaky start here in the 7th inning. Needs a strike right now with a count of 2-0. He has a sign in the pitch. He missed outside, ball 2. The tying run at the plate in Tommy Hudson here, and nobody out with runners at first and third. He is in with a strike. 3 balls and a strike. Carlton remains on deck, but the Phillies also have activity in their bullpen. Keaton with a 3-1 pitch. It's underway, and he missed outside, ball 2. They're loaded up. Nobody out. Tony Taylor will pinch hit. You talk about a popular baseball player. He owns his town, Tony Taylor. They brought him back from the American League, and he has been quite a welcome addition to this ball club. Fans throughout this ballpark standing up as soon as he moved out of the dugout, giving him a standing ovation. And let me tell you what he's done as a pinch hitter. He has had 17 hits and 36 times at bat, 11 RBIs. He's hit 2 home runs, and overall hitting at .392 with 2 homers and 12 RBIs. Tony Taylor. He was here in 1964, that fateful year. Been around a long, long time. A well-respected ball player, not only here in Philadelphia, but all throughout the National League. He started playing in 1954, 21 years ago. This is his 21st year in professional baseball. He's pinch hitting for Crofton with the bases loaded, and the Pirates leading by 3-5-2 with nobody out. Keaton will wind up in the pitch underway, and it is fouled out of play down the right field line, strike one. Well, both starting pitchers do not get past the top 1-7, but taken out for a pinch hitter. Ellis had the lead when he was top of the line drive. The 0-1 pitch inside, and it's ball one. 1 ball to 1 strike. Man's getting up and putting it Keaton like he's throwing it to him. With the bases loaded, that's a great pitch. Ain't no way. 1 ball to 1 strike on Taylor. The 1-1 pitch by Bruce. It is inside, ball 2. Keaton just wild with everything here. This fastball running again. Sanguin hollering out to him. Bucks are loosening Hernandez and John Moreland. 2 singles and a walk loaded him up. The 2-1 pitch. Swing on this, strike 2. Breaking ball, it appeared that time that hung inside on Taylor, but he missed it. Well, the count is 2-2. Tony has struck out only 4 times in 51 previous at-bats, and he's tough to strike out. The 2-2 pitch is hit weakly to shortstop. They have a play where, at first, they better hurry. He just got it. They get a run on a broken back ground ball just past the mound. Drives in a run. It is 5-3. Runners move up to try and run into second base and catch the batter. Keaton really did a job on him, and unfortunately, the ball was hit too far to his right so that he could make the play, and just soft enough that Tavares had only one play at first base. So put Hunter at third base. Boone is Hudson at second base. I think they put a pinch runner in now for Tommy Hudson. Mike Anderson has gone into pinch run at second base. Alan Bannister has gone into run at second base. Here's a pitch by Keaton to Cash. Ground ball to third, and they hold him right there. The throw to first. They get him there. Just did. Almost pulled him off the bag. The throw by Art House failed, and Robertson came right down on top of the bag. And Cash is out 5-3. So Bruce won't out away now from getting out of a very damaging inning here. He's given up 1 run after loading the bases with 2 singles and a walk. But runners still hold at third base, Del Hunter. At second base, Alan Bannister. Pinch running for Tommy Hudson. The batter, left-handed hitting Larry Boa, who has gone 0 for 3 against Ellis. And the pitch. It is outside, ball 1. Sanguin looking into the dugout. Somebody hollering something out. The guy on deck you don't want to face with the bases loaded, Mike Schmidt. 5-3 lead for the Pirates in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Line drive, base hit. It's a tie ball game. Boa comes up with 2 big RBIs. He's going to try for 2, and he is safe. Boa moves on to second base in a high throw by Al Oliver, who's pulled center off the bag a bit. His tag not in time. Doug Runnert, the umpire at second base, being argued at with rather by Frank Tavares and also Rennie Seddick. But the left-handers plaguing Keaton here. He has faced 4 of them, given up 3 singles and a walk, and that's been Bruce's problem here in the 7th inning. Boa, his 30th RBI of the season, tying the ball game at 5-5. And the big guy for the Phillies now is coming up, Mike Schmidt, but I believe that's going to be all for Keegan. It might be. As John Osborne coming out to the mound. They may just walk in and bring in the left-hander, Hernandez, to face Willie Montanez with first base open. But the left-handers have been the problem for Bruce here this evening in this seventh inning. Johnstone single up the middle. Unser single up the middle, sending Johnstone to third. Hutton pinch hitting, walk to load the bases. Tony Taylor bounced to shortstop to the out to drive and run. Cash tapped to third, 2 down, and Boa hitting left-handed double to Chase Keaton. And it's a tie game 5-5. Takes Ellis off any chance of winning the ball game. The game is now Keaton with a runner at second base in Larry Boa, who did a great bit of running to get in there. On the throw by Oliver, he had to go to his right to get to the ball, and then turn and throw. And in a very close play at second base, Stennis thought he had him, as did Tavares, but they lost the argument to Dutch Rennert. And I believe Hernandez will come on to do the pitching. They will probably walk Schmidt and pitch to Willie Montanez. I believe it's Hernandez. Juan had a rough time. Bizarre that Hernandez coming on. Ramon had a tough time his last time out in Chicago in that ball game we lost there. The Pirate bullpen depleted with the loss of Dave Jesse and the loss of Doc Ellis here, being hit by a line drive off the bat of Montanez in the 6th inning, certainly damaging the Bucs' cause here as Ellis is sailing along in a very strong ball game, allowing 2 hits in the 2nd inning. And then retiring the side in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. He got into trouble in the 6th inning. Looked like he was going to get out of it. With 2 outs, Montanez hit right back to the mound. And the ball cammed off his wrist, the right wrist, and the backhand over to the first base side. He threw, and the ball bounced off the shoulder of Montanez down the right field line to score Larry Boa with the Phillies' 3rd run. And that had to chase Ellis from the ball game. He was taken to the hospital for precautionary x-rays, and Keeson got the final out, striking out Luzinski. But Bruce touched up by the left-handers here in the 7th inning, giving up 3 singles and a walk. They've tied the game at 5-5, and Schmidt, I believe, will be intentionally walked and will face Montanez. They'll walk Schmidt, an intentional walk. This will be the 2nd walk in this inning and the 4th in the ball game. A log on Keaton. He goes 1 inning. Has given up 3 hits. Didn't struck out 1, and he walked 1. He is the pitcher of record right now with a runner at second base in Boa, should he score. Ball 3 to Mike Schmidt, and ball 4. Now it's up to Ramon Hernandez and Willie Montanez. Hernandez has dominated this fella throughout the last couple of seasons, but not this year, ironically, as Hernandez was touched up a couple of times by Willie in earlier ball games in this ballpark. Hernandez trying to find that secret once again. Will face Montanez, who has had 2 hits in 3 times at bat, scored in the 2nd on a double by Johnstone, and drove in the Phillies run in the 6th inning, their 3rd. But the Phillies have tied it 5-5. Bo at second base, Schmidt at first, 2 down, 7th inning. Phillies at bat. And the pitch by Hernandez is a fastball, line to the shortstop on 1 off. They get the out at second base just in time. 4th play, sharply hit ball to Tavares, retires the Phillies, and we find the 7th inning a very big one for the Philadelphia Phillies as they score 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, strand 2, and after 7 we are tied 5-5.
There's a battle against inflation going on right now at all Super Dollar markets, and you're invited to join. Super Dollar markets will make your dollar have more sense. There are plenty of specials every week on quality meats and fresh produce, to say nothing of the values available every day in frozen foods and canned goods. Super Dollar markets are owner-operated, so service and courtesy are two of the basic ingredients that go along with their efforts to keep prices fair and honest. There's always a great plus for Super Dollar customers that's sometimes hard to find in most other large food markets. It's that wonderful, friendly feeling of welcome that puts you at ease the moment you walk through the door. Super Dollar folks are people who like people, and you can take it from the old gunner. They'll do everything they can to help you make that hard-earned dollar go a little further. You can help cool down the inflation by putting your food futures in Super Dollar markets. See for yourself. Visit a Super Dollar market this week and save. Super Dollar markets, the inflation fighters. Start your food shopping at Super Dollar markets this week and feel the difference.
All right, we have a battery change. Ron Schuler, who's 9 and 14, and Larry Cox, the catcher, in a battery change straight up. In other words, they'll bat in their regular order. Schuler will bat 9th, and Cox will bat 8th. Now it's same game in. Schuler, 9 and 14. Carlton went 7 innings for 5 runs, 7 hits. Popped up along first base. Montagnier is back, coming over Cash. 1 out.
Tonight's paid attendance 21,117. 2-1.
Paid attendance tonight 21,117. Leon Jones hit his 13th ball. The Mets in the 5th with 1 on. They lead their game 3-1 over the Cardinals. Reds are leading 2-0 over Atlanta, and a 5 it is raining there in Cincinnati. Here's Al Oliver, 1 for 3. Scored a run back in the 6th inning. We still have nothing yet on Doc Ellis, who's been sent to Methodist Hospital for precautionary x-ray. As soon as we get that information, we'll let you know. That is a very big question mark there. Here comes the pitch to Oliver. It's outside for the ball. Colonel Jack Fisher of Valley Forge Military Academy. Carlton, 7 innings for 5 runs. The pitch. And it's hit up the middle for a base hit. Carlton also gave up 7 hits. He did strike out Egg. And he walked only 1. But he's off the hook now, and here's Willie the Stark standing in. Willie's 2 for 3, has driven in a run and scored a run. So Ron Schuler, 9 and 14 on the year, will be working here to Willie Stargell with a score tied at 5-5. The thing, as we told you, the thing that's tough and the one that worries you is what will be the fate of Doc Ellis. We're going to lose him with a broken bone. We're in deep trouble. Let's just hope it's nothing more than a bruise. Pitch to Stargell. Strike call. Schuler turned his fastball over. Pirates, as I recall, touched up Mr. Schuler back in Pittsburgh. 0-1 the count. First base occupied by Al Oliver. 1 out in the 8th. Pitch to Stargell. Outside on a sinking pitch. Ball 1 and strike 1. Montreal beat the Cubs 6-5. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Willie. They're not infield shifting. The outfield, in fact, is playing him as a left center hitter. Schuler's curve is high, a flat curve for a ball. Ron Schuler, 21,117 looking on. We've had Ellis out because of the injury, and then Kisa, and now, of course, Hernandez. 2-1 pitch. Stargell base hit up the middle. Oliver reeling to second, will hold. Now let's take somebody downtown, Nelly, and get it over with.
Well, this is the guy who hit the grand slam off in Pittsburgh the other day. Whether that can happen again, we'd like to see it. Looks like we're going to have outscore the Phillies here tonight with a bullpen a bit wafer thin, the loss of Justy and Keeson coming in early. Hernandez already on there.
Well, I'll tell you, we keep Ellis in the ball game. There's no way you're going to have to worry that much. The way he was pitching, he had outstanding stuff, but he had to get injured. Mario Mendoza running to the bullpen now. This standing in. Swinging a miss on a sidearm curve. Ramon Hernandez is, as of the moment, the pitcher of record. Schuler breaking that sidearm stuff. Ritchie drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the sixth inning, walked in the fourth, and popped the second. Thus on the night, he's 0 for 1. No balls, 2 strikes. Oliver at second. Starts with his first one out. 5-5 ball game. The 0-2 pitch up inside with his fastball. Gene Garber, Max Garris. We talked to Pete Rickard a little while ago. He's out with the same kind of a blood clot type of situation. They're watching it carefully that Bobby Moose had. A ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. There's this. He goes down swinging. And that is 8 strikeouts. And here's Bobby Robertson. Hit a 2-run homer back in the second. Struck out the next 2 times up.
He gave this 3 very fine curveballs. He didn't make a mistake that time. That's what he did in Pittsburgh. He hung one up there. It can be tough on right-handed batters. Very tough when he's short.
Well, somebody's nailed him 14 times, and fourth over, if he hangs in there long enough, will nail him. Bobby Robertson standing in now. Oliver at second and Stargell at first. 2 down, 5-5 ball game in the 8th. Pitch from Schuler. Started to swing, saved it, ball 1. How much longer are the Yankees in Baltimore going in game 1? That's 2-2 there. Grimsley went 14 innings before they relieved him. And that's just the first of a pair. And for all the money, marbles, and shots. Here's the 1-0. Outside ball 2-0. Be very interested to see what kind of attendance they had tonight with Baltimore trailing the Yankees by a pair in Baltimore. And I doubt that it'll be very booming unless they have a bat night or something going. And it's about 35 miles from Washington. Everybody wants to put a franchise in Washington in 2 of the worst places you could ever think of for baseball. Just to satisfy some muffy that wants a pass. Popped up. Playable off the third base side. Schmidt coming over by our railing. Got it. All right. 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. All tied. 5-5.
You can be sure it's at Westinghouse. It is true today as always, and worth remembering if you're shopping for a new appliance. Whether you're looking for a new refrigerator for your first home, or a new automatic washer for your first set of twins, or a new air conditioner for your bedroom, or a range or a dishwasher for your kitchen, be sure to look at Westinghouse first. You can be sure about service, too, because no matter where you live or move in the U.S., Westinghouse Nationwide Sure Service is there with prompt, professional service when you need it. You can be sure it's Westinghouse.
Bill Campbell, former Pirate baseball. Oh, yeah, worked with us with Pirate baseball and the Philadelphia Phillies and now doing the Eagles. Billy, how you getting along, buddy?
I'm fine, Bob. It's nice to see you and Nellie again, and had a chance to talk to Danny tonight. You guys are
really hang it tough with this one.
Well, we got a good ball club, but now we're getting a few injuries, and this is what's going to prove whether or not we can continue to do it, Bill.
I hope Ellis is all right. I hope he's not hurt and misses any turns.
Well, we hope so, too. Anyhow, Will, good luck to you and the Eagles and all, and remember, you got to play the Steelers, don't you, or don't you?
Oh, yeah, we played them in a preseason game, went sudden death. They have fine ball club. Thanks, Bob.
You have one, too, Bill. Good luck to you. Lisinski stands in. Hernandez screwballs for a strike. Bill Campbell did a lot of baseball for down through the years and a lot with us. On the Pittsburgh Pirates, no balls and a strike. And here comes the pitch now to Lisinski. Curve hammered foul off third to Billy DeMars. 0-2 the count. Ellis went 5 2/3 innings, allowing 1 run. The other run that was in the 6th was hotly disputed and unearned, but is also involved in which Montanez hit the ball back through the box off Ellis's right hand. And then when Ellis threw the ball, he was on the pitching side of the foul line. At first, fell down when he threw and it hit Montanez on the back. Murtaugh argued that Montanez was out of the line. Umpires didn't see it that way. And, of course, he had to be taken out. Keeson came on. High ball one. And he struck out Lisinski. But then Jerry Johnstone got a base hit off Keeson, as did Unser. Hutton came in and walked. The bases were loaded. Taylor bounced to a double play for 1 run. Then with 2 out, Boa doubled to drive in the tire. And when he ran into second base, we argued like heck that he was out. Stennett, Robertson, and Tavares to no avail. Ball 2, strike 2 here to Lisinski. And here's a pitch high. Ball 3 and strike 2. And time call. They got a Hey Rube going over in the stand. But the police are getting to that in a hurry. Ball 3, strike 2 to Lisinski. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You can say congratulations to the fans in Pittsburgh and Three River Stadium. You don't see things over there you see in this park. 3-2 pitch, fouled away. Never see it, Pittsburgh. Our fans are pretty doggone orderly, I'll tell you that. They don't get involved in that sort of stuff. Ball 3 and strike 2 to Greg Lisinski in the 8th inning, game tied 5-5. Fly ball left field deep. Dodger running, and it'll be off the wall. He'll pick it up, fire it for second. They got a shot at Lisinski. They put it on, and he's out. I want to tell you, that Dodger's got a gun. Turning and firing a bullet right to Stennett. Lisinski with the bad knee should never have tried to gamble on that one. He really felt that he could outrun the throw of Stodgel. And Willie laid it right to him. There's no percentage in that play. You can only hope that what will happen is he'll make a bad throw. And let me tell you something. There was a tag on Lisinski's toe, DOA, when he got there. Stennett was waiting on him. Now Ollie Brown is going to bat for Johnstone. Ollie Brown batting at .226, 7 homers, 19 runs batted in. Got 3 pinch hit home runs. One out here in the Philadelphia 8th inning. Don't run on Willie to start. You're running on one of the best arms in all of baseball. Willie's arm was overshadowed for years by the late Roberto Clemente, but then whose arm wasn't? So Brown bats here. And a curve inside the ball. One out. In the 8th inning, nobody aboard. Score tied 5-5. Hernandez for the windup, the pitch. Swing and a miss on a screwball. One ball and one strike. And the 1-1 delivery. Underneath this time, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Curve hit high there to left field. That baby may be out of here. Dodges at the wall. Leaps up, can't get it. Picking it up is Oliver. And it's almost a home run. It's a double. He just missed a home run by a gnat's eyelash, which would have been his fourth pinch hit home run had it been out of here. So Ollie Brown just misses a home run. Stargell just missed catching it, leaving high off the wall. In the 6th innings of play, the Mets, by virtue of Cleon Jones' home run over man aboard, lead the Cardinals 3-1. This is a game the Phillies must win. They just got to win them both. There's no way they're going to catch up if they don't beat us and then beat the Cardinals. They have 3 left with them. We can afford to lose a couple. You don't want to, and we haven't lost this one. Now Mike Anderson is going to bat, batting at .254, 5 homers, 34 runs batted in. They're going to walk him. He bats for Unser. They're going to get to their catcher, Cox. If they let him bat. What you worry about is the fact that Doc Ellis was struck on the pitching hand, a severe blow off the bat of Willie Montanez. That's the thing that bothers you. You wonder, how is he? And we'll know hopefully soon. In fact, that the way he was pitching, leading 5-1 in the ball game before he was struck, he'd have stuck it right in their ear. He'd have continued to pitch the way it was, it'd have just been a cakewalk. But you don't worry about the game. It's how about Doc Ellis? Well, they're going to bring up a pinch batter. Bill Robinson's going to bat for Cox, the catcher. Now they've used 3 pinch batters. Robinson with 4 homers takes it low from Hernandez for a ball. He bats for the catcher, Larry Cox. Baltimore and the Yankees are 2-2 in the 17th inning of Game 1. They haven't scored since the 5th inning. 1-0 pitch. High ball 2-0. Hernandez into peck of trouble here. Lazinski single, and if he hadn't foolishly tried to stretch it into a double, they would have had some deep, deep trouble. 2-0, swing and a miss. Because Lazinski should have contented himself knowing he had a bad leg in Stargell's arm out there with a single, but he tried to hustle into a double, and down he went in a hurry. Then Ollie Brown, batting for Johnstone, just missed the home run, doubling off the wall. There's a high fly to left field, and that is gone. There is a home run. It kills Hernandez. The Philadelphia dugout is going wild. Schuler. They were ready to pinch bat for him. Hernandez delivers. Schuler takes it high and away. Ball one. So Robinson has now hit his 5th home run of the year. And there's Schuler facing one out into right for a base hit. And they're knocking Hernandez galley west. And 2 injuries to our ball club that really hurt us here. Justy being injured, not being available to pitch. And Ellis being knocked out of the box with a line drive off his right hand. And that's going to be all for Hernandez. And they're going to come on with Johnny Moreland. But to heck with the ball game, for this one anyhow, who cares? Let's worry about Doc Ellis. And still no report about him. Hopefully, before this broadcast is over, we can tell you more about it. So Johnny Moreland is on now, and the Pirate bullpen is being given a very stern test here in the 8th inning. Moreland is yet to win a ball game. And he's 0-3. Job is to try to stop the Phillies here in the 8th. And David Cash will be the adversary here in the 8th inning. This started off, heavens knows how many runs they would have scored if Luzinski hadn't tried to foolishly run a single into a double off the left field wall with Stargell out there. He gunned him out a mile. If you don't get him out, we don't have anybody out. And Brown's double would have scored him or put him on third. They'd have walked Hunter or Anderson adding runs as they did. And Boone's replacement or Cox's replacement, Robinson's, would have been a grand slammer, and Schuler's base hit. They'd have 4 runs in the inning, man on first and nobody out. So you see, those little plays sometimes can grab you. Now, of course, in the 9th inning, we're down to the lower third of our lineup. With Ron Schuler pitching and a chance to win one. But on the plus side of the game, you have one thing going for you. The Mets are beating the Cardinals 3-1 on a homer by Cleon Jones at the end of 6. Now Dave Cash, 1 for 4, standing in. Pitch to him from Moreland, in there for a strike. Last 2 times out, Hernandez has been pummeled. Time before that, he pitched like the Mooney of old. There's a throw by Moreland. He almost threw the ball into right field. What do you throw it over to first base with Schuler out there for? He isn't going to run if you put a jet behind both of his ears. Holy Toledo. He almost threw the ball away because Robertson wasn't even holding to him. Strike 2. I can't believe it. I asked him one time, why do you throw with Ponderosa standing over there? Well, I want him to know I know he's around. Anyway, Schuler's going to run at you. Luckily, John was able to change the flight of the ball. Fly ball. Robertson was way back of him. Cleveland beating Boston with Gaylord Perry 3-1. Texas in second place, beating the White Sox 2-0 in it, too. The 0-2 to Cash. Jammed him and he fouls it past DeMars at third. Baltimore beats the Yankees 3-2 in the 17th inning, Nellie informs me. That's just the first game. So they pick up a game on the Yankees, who now lead by 1. Ross Grimsley went 14 innings in that game. All right, no balls, 2 strikes here to Dave Cash. Moreland working. Robertson says, John, I'm playing back. Popped him up. Right side, Stennett drifting back. Just coming up. Stennett waiting. And that'll put 2 away. That'll bring up Boa, who doubled in the 7th inning to knock in the tying run. Tell you one thing, this Ozark has been to church or something with his pinch batters tonight. Got a run batted in, got a walk, pinch homer, another walk, and a pinch double. So all of his pinch batters have done something. Foul back by Boa. Nothing in 1 to count. Larry has scored a pair. Here's the rip and the 0-1 and over the plate but low. Ball 1, strike 1. Van Gian must be barbering a little bit with Mr. Kibler, who's been in some arguments down behind the plate tonight, and mostly with our club. Ball 1 and strike 1. Fouled away to the left out of play. End of 8 innings, or in the 8th, Cleveland beating Boston 3-1 with Gaylord Perry. Phillies have had 7 pinch home runs this year. How's that? 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Moreland gets him to foul it back. New York, it's 2-14-1. Baltimore 3-10-0. Jackson the winner. Upshaw the loser. 4 hours and 12 minutes for the first game. 17 innings. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Boa. And he gates a base hit up the middle. Here comes Mike Smith. Mike is 0 for 3 tonight. Mike Schmidt takes the curve. He ducked away from it. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 3 runs in, 8-5 the score. Phillies here with 2 on, 2 out. Here comes the 0-1 and a swing and a miss, strike 2. This is an awful time and no good time to ever come up with an injury, but for Jussie to injure himself working out in the infield, which is all pitchers do to stay loose and practice their fielding, just pull the muscle or something and probably re-aggravated an older injury. And it comes at a very bad time, and now Ellis being hit on the pitching hand on a drive by Montanez. The jury's still out on that. And this is no time to have those things happen, but they have. Here's a strikeout swinging by Schmidt. The inning is over, and I mean they hurt us with 3 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Strand the pair, go to the 9th inning, leading 8-5. Changes for the Phillies, and we'll tell you about them in a moment. Right now, station identification on the Pirate Baseball Network.
All the good sports are on Pirate. KBGE Pittsburgh.
Bill Robertson plays left field in place of Luzinski. Ollie Brown goes to right in place of Johnstone, and Ethian becomes the 3rd catcher of the night. And we're going with Richie Hebner now, batting for Arthur Howe. And on deck, the Cobra, Dave Parker. Hebner batting at 306, had one of the hottest bats on this road trip. He had 8 boomers over in Chicago. He's in with 14 homers. He takes it high and away, ball 1 from Ron Schuler. They're loosening their bulls again out there. Max Scarce, the left-hander, I reckon. Here's the pitch. Hebner takes it over the plate to low, ball 2. Max Scarce and Larry Christensen. 2-0 from Schuler to Hebner. Strike is called. Into the bottom of the 7th at New York. The Cardinals trailing 1 run to 3 to New York, and Mike Garman pitching for them. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Hebner slams it on a drive to Montagnier, who hot dogs it by grabbing it with one hand and slapping down with it. What a numero Fuente. That's what he is, and that's all he is. Now the Cobra's going to bat for Tavares. Dave Pucker, batting at 290, 4 homers, 25 runs batted in. (8-5) the score. Phillies have the lead. And it's out of here foul a mile. Knocks the scoreboard down practically. The auxiliary board. Don't worry about a thing, fans. When we go to bed tonight, we'll still be leading by 3.5. The Phillies are just having their little moment of glory. Just be a momentary pause in the history of mankind. There's a pop-up off the third base side, and Mike Schmidt. 2 down. Phillies aren't going to win it. They can't climb over the Pirates and the Cardinals. No way. They think they can, but they can't. They're going to be lulled into their own trap. They think they can handle the Cardinals so easily, which they have, and all of a sudden they're going to get bit. I don't know. This doggone thing looks like it's going right down to the wire to me, Nellie.
I think the Phillies got that momentum going. They haven't played well on the road, but they had to take some encouragement, beating the Cardinals twice out there. And I don't know, their big guy didn't pitch that well tonight, Crosby. They're not going to outscore everybody the rest of the season either. And they've been a little bit suspect with their relief pitching. One game isn't going to tell the whole tale.
No way. Curve is on the corner to Kirkpatrick, who's batting at 261. Batting here now in place of John Moreland.
But I would say, and I don't mean to hang some crepe here, but the loss of, if Doc Ellis is to be lost, we got a real problem.
Well, we're hurting then. Here's the 0-1, and it's inside for a ball, 1-1. And you're not going to know how long Justy's going to be out. That's just because he's going to report here tomorrow doesn't mean he's ready to pitch. Let's hope that he's ready soon.
Well, we have no report on Ellis yet.
Nothing yet.
On, stating they have nothing to report on Doc.
1 ball and 1 strike. Down low, ball 2, 2-1.
I'll find somebody to come out of the bullpen. Justy's carried that load for 5 years, and unfortunately Hernandez has fallen on lean times here the last 3 or 4 times out. It's a good game against Montreal, but the last 2 times out has not done well at all.
2-1 delivery to Kirk. Foul back. 2-2.
Tough time of the year for if you're a strong left-hander against left-handed pitching, or left-handed hitting, or a guy like Keith who's strong against right-handed hitting. They got so many players. They go to the bench now in September. They're rather heavy. They can keep running them up there.
Here is a 2-2 delivery by Schuler. And it's hit high there into right field. Brown looks like he has room, and that'll do it. If he can catch it, he does. And the Phillies win the ball game. Pirates had him beat 2-0, and then it went to 2-1, then it went to 4-1 Pittsburgh, and then it went to 5-2 Pittsburgh, and then all of a sudden they came on against our bullpen and clobbered it. So they win it 8-5. Well, the Buccos had one get away from them tonight, but I think more than anything, circumstances, the injury to Doc Ellis was the difference. We'll never know whether or not Doc would have gone on to win it, but I'll guarantee you leading 5-1 pitching like he was, he'd only allowed 2 hits till he was injured. That's 3 hits. And I'll tell you something, that's quite a difference. And he's out of there, and Philadelphia's got a long way to come back in this one. With the way he was pitching, and heck with the ball game, the big thing is what's wrong with Doc Ellis, and that we will not know yet. Ed Routson came in to try to give us more information, to tell us that there was no further information. He's been sent to the hospital for x-rays on the right hand. So that's all we can tell you. Philadelphia 8-12-0, Pittsburgh 5-9-2. Ellis, Keeston, Hernandez, and Moreland. Hernandez, the loser, is now 2-2. This is the first time the Phillies have beaten him in 6 decisions. Schuler, the winner, he's 10-14. Carlton, of course, went for a cup of coffee and gave up 5 runs. Would have lost it, but they got him off the hook. Robertson hit a homer in the second one on his 14th. Arthur Howe in the 7th, his first Grand Slammer. And in the 8th inning, Robinson hit a homer in the with 2 men aboard off Hernandez. And I want to tell you the way it went. Brzezinski almost hit a home run. Brown almost hit a home run. Anderson walked, and Robinson did hit a home run, and then Schuler belted him, and Hernandez just didn't have it tonight. 8-5, Philadelphia, their hopes still are alive. Nellie?
Yeah, they're only 5.5 games back with 19 games left to play. Funnier things than that have happened in the National League, but they've got to chase 2 different ball clubs. But they very much are still alive, and they wanted to win this ball game tonight, and they did. And the inability of the Buck bullpen to close the door the last couple of games has shown up here. They've given up a total of 18 runs, or make it 17 runs in the last 2 ball games they've lost. So hopefully somebody out there can fill the gap. So Dave Duffy can get that thing back together. And tomorrow night we'll go with Jerry Royce as we wind up the season series of the Philadelphia Phillies. They'll be going with Wayne Twitchell. For Bob Prince and for our engineer Tom Fowler and for Bill Richards back at the studio, Nellie King saying so long. This game was brought to you in part by your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer, who has immediate delivery on America's #1 selling compact. By Joy, nature's high-protein food for dogs. Higher in protein, and it still costs less than most other brands. And by Iron City Beer. When you're really ready to pour it on, pour on the iron. Once again, the final score, the Philadelphia Phillies win it 8-5. This is the Pirates Baseball Network.